The Jared Dillian Show.
I'm Jared Dillian. This is The Jared Dillian Show. If you want to call to talk about your money or your taxes, please call 844-305-7800. That's 844-305-7800. This is The Jared Dillian Show. So it's the weekend, and what I'm doing tomorrow is I'm going to a cat cafe. Now, a cat cafe, I don't know if you know about this. Cat cafes are the new thing. See, in the old days, if you wanted to adopt a rescue cat, you would adopt a rescue cat from, like, the city shelter. But that's not a really nice environment. Cats are in cages. They're scared. There's noise. They're in there with dogs barking. Like, it's bad. And it doesn't really create a lot of demand for the cats just because it's such a terrible place, especially if it's like a kill shelter and it's, forget it. Anyway, so what people started to do was they opened up these cat cafes. Actually, in a week and a half, I'm going to the first one ever in the U.S. In Manhattan. And a cat cafe it's a cafe. You can drink coffee and they just have cats running around. And you can just, for like $10, you can sit there and drink coffee and pet the cats. But if you want, you can adopt one of the cats. So there's a cat cafe about 12 miles from my house. And it actually opened over the summer last year. And we went to the cat cafe. And there was this black and white cat. She's not really black. She's like kind of dark tabby and white. And they said her name was Stormy. And we definitely didn't need a cat. We already had 4. But Stormy was there, laying on the couch and was just letting us pet her, and she was totally cool and totally quiet. So we're like, you know what? We'll take this one. And, perhaps unwisely. And we took her home. We renamed her. She's named Xenia. Xenia, Xenia. So we took her home, and she actually has turned out to be the perfect cat. Like, she has solved all of our problems. Like, basically, we had one young boy and 3 older girls, and the young boy was, like, terrorizing the older girls, and he was peeing on things, and he was just being just a huge butthead. And Xenia came in, and she became best friends with the boy. His name is Tars. And it fixed all the behavioral problems. And now everything is great. Anyway, we're going back to the cat cafe this weekend. And the cat cafe they have a Facebook feed, they have an Instagram feed. So I always check out the cats that they have there. And they have this orange tabby cat named Shad. And I really want to get Shad. Of course, that would take us up to 6 cats. And my wife is really, really not in favor of doing this. But yet she's agreed to go to the cat cafe. She's agreed to go, and I'm gonna check out Shad, and maybe we'll get cat number 6. Oh man! But here's the thing: cats or dogs are a financial commitment. They're definitely not a huge financial commitment. But they are a financial commitment. Pets are not free. Kittens are not free. They cost money. And if you are not financially prepared to take care of a pet, then you shouldn't get the pet. So I read some stuff on this. I'm big on data about pets. I read this article about how much does a cat cost. The average cost to own a cat is $809 per year, with the first year being $1,174 because you have all the startup costs. The average cost over the life of the cat is about $7,500 to $12,500. That's the average cost. Some people pay a lot more than that. So kind of depends on how high maintenance your cat is. But that includes food. It includes vet visits. By the way, litter is like the most expensive thing. Litter is expensive. Like one of those containers of litter is like $10. And especially if you have like multiple cats, I mean, we're burning up litter all the time. We probably spend $500 a year on litter, maybe. Anyway, So there's a lot of cat owners that will spend 2 to 3 times this amount of money over the life of the cat. And usually the way they spend that money is in the form of medical treatment. So I have 5 cats, and they haven't been that expensive. One has been pretty expensive. I have one that's kind of a lemon. She's always had some health problems. There's always something going on with her. We're taking her to the vet. She had this stomach bacteria. This was, years ago. This was like 4 or 5 years ago, and she was in really bad shape, and we had to take her to this specialty vet hospital, and several $1,000s later. I think we probably spent about $5,000 on this cat. So, but the rest have been pretty healthy. And the reason I bring this up, we're going to talk about this more in a second. But a lot of people aren't prepared to spend $5,000 on a cat, And what I'm telling you is, if you're going to get a cat or a dog, like there's going to come a time in the life of the pet where they're going to require some expensive medical treatment. And maybe it'll be at the end of the life, and that'll be an easy decision. The pet will be old, or maybe it'll be early on. And you're going to be faced with this choice of, do I pay for the medical treatment, or do I let this animal die? And what I'm telling you is that you should do some thinking on this ahead of time, and you should be prepared. And we're going to talk about the ways to be prepared. Now, one very straightforward way to be prepared is to have an emergency fund, which you should have anyway, right? You should have $10,000 or 6 months of expenses, so $10,000 at a minimum. And that emergency fund is for paying for medical treatments for your pets. That's what, not exclusively. I mean, it's for all kinds of stuff. It's for your medical treatments. It's for the car breaking down. It's for whatever. But the point is that one of the things that emergency fund covers is medical treatments for the cat. Now, there might be a limit as to how much you're willing to spend on a cat or a dog. Okay, I have a friend who actually has guinea pigs, and I don't understand getting guinea pigs as a pet, but apparently they have personalities and they're cool. Most animals have personalities. Chickens have personalities. We had chickens for a while. But guinea pigs are cool pets, but they are rodents, and my friend said that the max that he was spending on one guinea pig was $500. After that, see you later. Guinea pig, that's pretty generous. $500 for a guinea pig. I think that's not such a bad deal. So like I said, I have 5 cats. The main variable cost is based on where a pet owner resides. Okay, so it's cost of living. So if you live in, Brooklyn, then the food is expensive, the vet visits are expensive, medications are expensive, stuff like that. Other variables include choice of diet, litter, flea prevention, grooming, and stuff like that. Cats, some cats have chronic medical problems, such as allergies, kidney disease, diabetes, hyperthyroidism. That's a big one for cats. One of my cats got pancreatitis, I want to say about 15 months ago. And we're always keeping an eye on her because that is something that can be chronic in cats, is pancreatitis. But it's more than just a financial cost. People underestimate how much work it is getting even just a kitten or a cat. Like, if you've never owned a cat, especially if you get a kitten, what a lot of people forget is that having a cat is a lot of work, especially like a young cat. I mean, they have a lot of energy. They need to play. And you need, if you have a young cat, you need to play with the cat for like at least 20 minutes or 30 minutes a day. And you have to play with the cat until the cat is exhausted. Otherwise, the cat's going to like act out and misbehave and get into stuff. So you have to play with them. The cool thing is that when you have 5, they kind of play with each other. But the cost of the first year of pet ownership is $1,000. One-time pet expenses, if it costs you for adopting a dog up to $600, for adopting a cat up to $270, The rescues I've adopted have been anywhere from $50 to $100. Food for a dog, when you get the dog, is going to be about $50 to $100. Same for a cat, $50 to $100. Startup supplies, $50 to $300. Preventative medical treatment, kind of like heartworm stuff for dogs and flea and tick. By the way, they have this stuff for cats. I don't know if they have it for dogs, but it's called Frontline. It's this flea and tick medicine, and it's really expensive. I mean, just like one application is like $40. I mean, it's insane. Spaying or neutering an animal is, up to $300. Microchipping. I highly recommend microchipping in case the cat or the dog gets lost. So all this stuff, one-time cost for dogs. When you adopt a dog, it's anywhere from like $300 to $1,800. One-time cost for cats is anywhere from like $300 to $1,500. Then you have the annual pet expenses, which are, food for a dog is $250 to $750. A cat's a lot cheaper, a couple $100. Vet exams about $100 a pop. Shots about $100 a pop. Preventative medical litter $200 to $250 per year per cat. Toys, we have a ridiculous amount of toys. I mean, the total you can spend on a dog or a cat over the course of a year is like $1,000. It's a lot of money. So you have to be financially prepared to get a dog or a cat. I'm Jared Dillian. This is the Jared Dillian Show.
The Jared Dillian Show.